It's 8:30. Good morning, I'm Jessica Rouse with Hunter News. A national study conducted by the Hunter Medical Research Institute has found antibiotics can be used to treat asthma. Researchers discovered a low daily intake of the antibiotic azithromycin in tablet form for 48 weeks reduced severe asthma attacks by 40%. Lead researcher Professor Peter Gibson says the antibiotic can be used by patients resistant to traditional asthma treatments, decreasing their risk of potentially fatal asthma attacks.
There's a group of people, particularly adults that have had it for a long time, where those precautions are not enough and they still experience asthma attacks. And so we did this trial to look for additional treatments that might help those people, and the results were positive.
Downer EDI have been hit with a $15,000 fine after a routine inspection found a small leak likely to have caused a number of spills at their Singleton facility. Environmental Protection Authority officers also discovered the Mount Thorley site had potential for soil contamination and had inadequate stormwater diversions. The company will work with the Environment Watchdog on a pollution reduction plan. It looks like the Hunter could be addicted to gambling. The Herald reports Hunter residents have put a huge $6.6 billion through poker machines in just 12 months. Newcastle's pokie machines are the most profitable, pulling in $1.7 billion a year, followed closely by Wyong. The state government are coming out winners, taking $28 million in taxes. Back in May, 2NURFM reported a staggering $1.1 billion had been put through poker machines in Hunter pubs and clubs alone. The New South Wales Greens purchase data from the end of last year, which found little of the money went back into the communities across the state. After more than 20 years of requests, water treatment plants may finally be constructed in Camberwell and Bulga, with tenders closing next week. Funded in part by the New South Wales Government, the $6.5 million project aims to establish a portable water supply in both towns. Council's Manager of Waste and Water, Angelica Hesse, says the construction of the plants shouldn't cause any major disruptions for locals.
Packaged water treatment plants are just a little bit larger for a 500 kilolitre treatment plant of what we're planning out there. They've been pre-constructed at the factory, and then they come in the back of a big truck, delivered to site.
A woman is being treated for injuries in the John Hunter Hospital after her motor scooter ran off the back of a stationary vehicle. The Westpac rescue chopper was called to the scene in Taree, where the 55-year-old was treated before being flown to hospital. She suffered a lower leg fracture and upper body injuries. Preschool and early education is imperative for young children and their growth, and now preschools in the Hunter could get a funding boost. A share in $10 million is up for grabs to help ensure young children, not only in the Hunter but across the state, have access to early childhood education before they start big school. Parliamentary Secretary for the Hunter, Scott McDonald, says anyone involved in early childcare should apply.
There's about $10 million in capital works available for grants. Really urge the Hunter preschools to have a look at Department of Education website, follow the links to Capital Works Grants Program. It can be used for new community schools as well as expanding existing services.
Sport for our sponsor, PRD Nationwide East Maitland.
The Matautia brothers will have three on the park for the first time this weekend in the Knights' clash against the Bulldogs in Sydney. Chanel, Sione and Peter will all line up for the side after injuries and suspensions had previously stopped the boys from playing together. There could be more, with a fourth brother, Pat, in the Knights reserve grade system and hoping to break through to add a bit of history for the club. To local league now, and the Maitland Pickers are hoping they'll keep their hands on star fullback Curtis Norton after he caught the eye of Knights reserve grade staff in his two-try performance at the weekend. Norton arrived at Maitland last week after arriving from England to be sick with his mother. Pickers coach Trevor Ott says he won't know if the Knights will require Norton's services until late this week. And Newcastle Hunters basketball coach Mark Gledman is hopeful he'll be able to convince star player Charlotte Bull to stay on for the rest of the season. Bull suffered a serious knee injury last year while playing AFL and has been sidelined ever since, but returned to the basketball court to play Sydney on the weekend to help out the coach. Currently sitting outside the top four, Gledman says a player of Bull's calibre would certainly improve reigning premiers' chances of going back to back. And the winning numbers in Powerball are 38, 13, 11, 19, 22 and 10, and the Powerball number is 20. 2NURFM news time is 25 to 9.